Hey guys, Lee from Overbite Gaming here, and today I want to talk about a game from my past. 17 years ago, in fact, on the PS2, I discovered X-Men Next Dimension. Now, apparently, I learned this while I was studying up and replaying it for the purposes of this video. It's actually the third in a series. I've never even heard of the other two. Apparently, it's X-Men Mutant Academy 1 and 2. And this is unofficially 3, but it's called Next Dimension. If it had been a 3, I might have hunted out the other two, but it's not. It's Next Dimension. It's a game. It's a fighting game. It features all of your good old X-Men cast. A good solid one, actually. I mean, it's even got Psylocke, who, yes, all the boys lusted after when they were young. That bottom. Jesus Christ. But yeah. It's really good. It is set in a time where I wasn't really sort of partaking of the X-Men Kool-Aid as much. I was a big fan of X-Men, and I sort of bought the comic books like when it was X-Men and Uncanny X-Men were your two choices. I was getting them both. And that sort of lasted up to the release of when they did Generation X. And I read some of that, and it wasn't the course for me to stop reading or anything. I just kind of petered out. I think the newsagent I was getting it from all of a sudden couldn't get them anymore, which sounds like bullshit to me, but whatever. Probably couldn't be asked to get it for me anymore. But yeah, I kind of fell out of reading it, and since then I kind of like a more DC nowadays. But I will get the occasional Marvel one. I've got collector's edition like New Avengers volumes 1 through 3, and then what was turning out to be an excellent series was kind of fucked with a bigger, wider universe. I think it was the Civil War, that did it. Or was it after Civil War? I need to go back and reread that. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about X-Men today. So, the real reason, you don't hear very much about this, and you sort of look at it and you go, okay, it's set. You've got Bastion and his Prime Sentinels, and Bastion is freed from S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters and rebuilt, and kill all the mutants, that kind of job. And you have a fighting game which moves around, and it's fully 3D. You walk forward, back, all that stuff, which I think is a bit of a problem with it. But we'll get onto that. You've got some incredibly sort of Juggernaut is huge. His sprite is huge compared to all the other ones, and he really does fill out the screen, as in the Marvel vs. Capcom ones. He also did that on. But it is a ball buster of a game, man. It is so difficult. I think I've got into Bastion once, and he kicked my ass all over the damn place. I could not believe how difficult this is. This is PS2 days, yeah? I was used to more difficult games than we have today that allow you to basically get through it, with the exception of some games. Obviously, Dark Souls doesn't do those. That let you speed through it just so you could experience the product and finish the story so they can get you into the multiplayer and sell you things. Hey, you had to get in the microtransactions somewhere, I suppose. But it was fucking hard, and I think half of the problem with it is where it does this three-dimensional movement. It kind of makes it complex, shall we say. So you've got your D-pad, and you can jump and duck using the D-pad, but you can't move around until you press left 2 with your D-pad, or alternatively you can use your left stick and that will move you around, but you can't jump or duck. So it's really, really fucking difficult to get to grips with. It's just such a big palaver just to move around in a fighting game. You're like, Jesus, why is this the case? This shouldn't be the case. It should be free-flowing, and I should be able to string stuff together. The button lag on it is pretty bad as well, to be fair. The footage I'm showing you now was recorded by me, hence why it's, me being terrible at the game, obviously. It is emulated, but I promise you the lag is the same on an actual PS2 as well. I am using the game disc. I have not downloaded a ROM. It is running through PlayStation emulation, which I just love. I just love being able to emulate a PS2. Just pop the disc in and just have it launch and go. It's amazing. I've been trying it with the PlayStation 1 as well, but I've had a few problems there. Whatever. But yeah, we don't hear about X-Men Next Dimension that much, and I think it's because I know it has its fans, and it's reputedly the most popular of the 3 Mutant Academy games. I never played the first 2, so I couldn't attest to that. But it's in the days when you've got Tekkens and stuff like that coming out, it's just so much more fun to play, more responsive, and to be fair, I mean, it tries, but it's not that much of a looker. It does have Captain Picard in there. Good old Patrick Stewart. It returns to reprise his role. So, I mean, there's that, but it's just a bit of a difficult one. I mean, it is, if you're an X-Men fan and you want to play an X-Men game, I mean, the X-Men uniforms on the front are, I think it was the series they did after the successful X-Men cartoon show, the Fox Kids one, which was fucking awesome. But every time I look at it on Amazon, I'm always like, no, that's a lot of money for episodes that are like 20 minutes long each. Stop it. But there was one after that, and it looks like the art style from that. I could be wrong about that, though. Rogue has short hair. That should help. Blah. Anyway, guys, I just want to go over it because, you know, I was looking through my shelf of games and thinking, I want to talk about something that's old and I haven't really touched on before. I haven't really touched on X-Men per se before. I mean, outside of like the Wolverine game that I did, and that was more of a just because it was a superhero movie and I was doing a movie based tie-over thing. But yeah, X-Men Next Dimension. Check it out if you want. Don't go in expecting the world. It's playable, it's difficult, and it's a bit clunky, but you know, if you're an X-Men fan, I'm sure there's something in there for you, even if it's just watching a storyline with the X-Men in it, because it does have that going for it. It has a bit of an original storyline going on, and yeah, the voice acting outside of Mr. Stewart is not so good. I mean, Magneto is awful. And he let someone get away with calling him Mutie. Actually, that was Mystique thinking about it. Oops. Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Leave a like and a subscription down below. We release videos Wednesdays and Saturdays, and if you'd like to do so, please subscribe. If you do that, ring the bell, and then your porn surfing on the toilet will be interrupted by updates when we release a new video. Anyway, guys, I've been Lee from Motorbike Gaming. Take it easy.